Tzu Chi volunteers helped clean up a house that caught on fire in New Taipei's Ruifang. We learned from experts that a vegetarian diet can provide enough nutrients for athletes. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Rusu. Thank you for joining us. During the New Year holidays, an electrical fire broke out at a residential apartment in New Taipei's Ruifang. As the affected resident was unable to clean his home, he asked his neighbor, who is a Tzu Chi volunteer, for help. After learning about the news, 60 people, including Keelung Tzu Chi volunteers and Mr. Huang's relatives and friends, mobilized to help him. Let's take a look.
After a fire broke out at Mr. Huang's home, all of his belongings have been burned down. Not knowing how to clean up his living environment, he asked his neighbor, who is a Tzu Chi volunteer, for help.
The affected resident said that he has financial problems and is in poor health, so he asked Tzu Chi for help.
Nearly 60 people, including Keelung Tzu Chi volunteers, community volunteers, and Huang's friends and relatives, joined the cleanup efforts.
Mobilizing a truck will cost me about $134 US. Will be much more if I mobilize 5 trucks and ask people to help me move. You see how many people you have mobilized to come here today. I don't know how much it will cost me if it is not free of charge.
There are crises everywhere when cleaning up the debris following the fire, as volunteers have to wear helmets, put on gloves and 2 masks. Clearing out many bags of debris and relaying them from the 5th floor to the 1st floor. The efficiency of the volunteers is similar to professionals. Everyone works together to move large home appliances, but there are many obstacles when moving them through these narrow stairs. After half a day, all the waste has been cleared out. The borough chief also volunteered to conduct a cleaning squad to help remove the waste, making Mr. Huang feel at ease.
At the end of last year, Keelung Tzu Chi volunteers in Taiwan have helped 2 Tzu Chi care recipients clean their homes. As the Lunar New Year is approaching, volunteers recently went to their homes once again to help repair the leaking roofs, hoping to give them a comfortable living environment. Let's join them there.
This cluttered home was where Xiaolong lived a month ago. The volunteers put on raincoats to help clean his home. A month later, volunteers used a sunny day to come again, helping him solve his leaking roof. While waterproofing work was still ongoing, it rained the next day, as Keelung is known as the raining port. Volunteers have to use sponges to absorb water and do everything possible to complete the work.
Volunteers in all areas of expertise came to help repair the house, hoping to give this family a more comfortable environment prior to the Lunar New Year.
The painting also requires a lot of effort. Zhang Yansong, who suffers from oral cancer, not only participated in the cleanup, but has also helped putty and paint the walls. Volunteers have also helped install ceiling lights, giving the home a new look.
Now my home won't leak. Volunteers have helped me repair the ceiling and walls. It looks clean.
All of the volunteers show their expertise and talent, helping this family repair their home as well as making them feel at ease.
A cold snap is sweeping across Taiwan. When Tzu Chi volunteers in Kaohsiung brought hot soup and aid supplies to visit the homeless, they saw the elderly homeless person's legs were injured. Therefore, they invited Tima doctors to check on his health. Here's more.
These Tzu Chi volunteers carry aid supplies and hot soup to visit the homeless people at night. Volunteers have been divided into several groups, taking different routes to look for homeless people in every corner of society.
3 homeless people had no shoes to wear, so we bought them shoes. Some of them need a sleeping bag, while others need thermal
This 80-year-old homeless person uses this tarp as a quilt. After discovering his legs are injured, volunteers have invited Tima doctors to check his condition. The doctors feel at ease after helping him clean the wound and apply the ointment. Among the volunteers is this young girl who follows her grandmother to care for the homeless.
They're very poor because they have no clothes to wear.
After understanding the difficult life of the homeless, the young girl has learned to cherish her own blessings. Volunteers' love and care in this harsh winter also warms the hearts of the homeless.
A farmer in Zhanghua plants vegetables every winter and has been giving them out for free for more than 20 years. He has expanded his farm to plantation in nearby fields and is donating all the vegetables to temples and charity organizations. Even during a year when vegetable prices peak, he wasn't willing to accept money. He says his work is not to earn money, but to simply do good deeds.
The field is about 2 hectares and annually products more than 10 tons of vegetables. Xu Jinming plants them not to sell but for charity.
Someone wants to buy my vegetables for $7,000, but I rejected it because these are vegetables for the Buddha and not for sale. He asked me, don't I need some money for fertilizer? And I say no, because I plant this for Buddha and there is no need to sell them.
24 years ago, Xu Jinming went to Miaoli's Zhouhua Mountain and learned about Buddhist temple, which lacks of vegetables. Since then, he has donated the vegetables he plants every year to the temple and other charity organizations.
Everyone is trying to do good deeds, and I feel very happy and well.
I told him not to plant such a big field and just do what his health condition allows. But he's planting more and more vegetables each year.
Many neighbors call his vegetables Buddhist veggies because he donates them for charity. His children have followed his examples, and even his grandchildren in elementary school donate their scholarships for him to buy seeds and fertilizer.
My grandson said he supports me with his scholarship, so I enjoy doing this more and more because I know he's following my steps.
Doing good deeds is a way to set a good example for the children, so they won't grow into bad people.
When other farmers are resting, Xu Jinming is very busy harvesting, and volunteers from Buddhist temples and the community all come to help. They broadcast recording of Buddhist scripts while they harvest so that they can appreciate the Buddhist veggie with a joyful heart.
Master Zheng Yan came to Tzu Chi Humanitarian Culture Center to attend a year-end blessing ceremony. Hundreds of staff members have performed an adaptation of the Lotus Sutra for the very first time. Tang Meiyun Taiwanese Opera Company is performing the drama along with a former lead dancer from Cirque du Soleil, Billy Chang. Let's join them there. These powerful body movements and sharp facial expressions are associated with Billy Chang, the first Taiwanese dancer to perform with the world-famous Cirque du Soleil. He has performed around the world for more than 3,000 shows and is very experienced. This time he takes the new challenge to lead the performance of the adaptation of Lotus Sutra.
I've seen many Tzu Chi members around the world and saw them doing great things for the earth in every corner. I can personally feel that heavy pressure from them, but it's heavy because we have responsibilities and we have confidence.
33-year-old Billy Chang went to Taipei National University of the Arts. He has witnessed the Humanitarian Culture Center built up from the ground. However, his past experience being a Tzu Chi volunteer helped him to get into the sutra scriptures naturally with his body and mind.
The power of Buddha's compassion and the 840,000 Dharma methods. I see it in reality here in Tzu Chi. The 840,000 Dharma methods can be any kind of good solutions and connections that has no limitation regardless of religion or race. I believe this kind of good Dharma power can help us to embrace the world.
Tang Meiyun is the one who connects her theater company with this classic adaptation of Lotus Sutra. Around 50 people from her Taiwanese opera company participate in the performance. Many of them are high school and college students.
It's rare for people to have the opportunity to read the Lotus Sutra, so I think connecting the script and theater together can help people to understand it easier and better.
Teacher Tom seems full of energy during the rehearsal, but in fact she has not slept the previous night because of rehearsing with the theater company and recording TV shows. She comes to the rehearsal right after her other work.
To me personally, I believe in prayers and most importantly, making good wishes. With good wishes, we can pray that the righteousness fulfills our society and we can hope for a good karma for performing the sutra script.
The Lotus Sutra is a Mahayana classic scripture presenting the continuous teaching of the Buddha, that everyone should walk on the Buddhism path to be a person that saves others from the misery in this life. Most people might think that bodybuilders need to consume a lot of meat to get enough protein. However, experts have said that too much consumption of protein after exercising is not helpful. Can an athlete get enough protein and nutrients from a vegetarian diet? Let's find out in our next report.
At the beginning, I rode the bike on the bike lane. After a while, I decided to try riding in this area. It gave me a sense of achievement. I thought that I'd stop when my feet felt too weak. In fact, my physical strength has not changed before and after I adopted a vegetarian diet.
You consume soybean protein. You're an athlete. There should not be any problem.
The professor made it clear that exercising and vegetarianism do not have direct relationships. While some people worry about the deficiency of protein in the vegetarian diet, experts think that is not a problem.
Most people do not know how much protein they need. In fact, for an 80-kilogram adult, he needs only 20 grams of protein after exercising. Then he can maximizing his protein synthesis rate.
To help his cousin lose weight, He Guowei fell in love with the extreme sports of cycling. However, exercising might lead to breaking down of the muscles and protein is much needed. If 20 grams give one the best result, consuming more than that is not helpful. In the kitchen, He Guowei is learning to be a helper. His mother said that she has been a vegetarian for years, but when she learned that her son wants to adopt a vegetarian diet, she was surprised.
I was afraid he lacks the nutrients, but he said that should not be a problem. He has seen professional cyclists who also adopt the vegetarian diet.
In a sports history, there are a lot of athletes who adopt a vegetarian diet. However, He Guowei decided to go meatless because he watched a video clip.
I feel that people could choose to eat meat because meat is being packaged and tastes delicious. In fact, this is simply the cadaver of a dead animal.
To help underprivileged people get through the harsh winter, Tzu Chi has started this year's winter aid distributions around the world. In China, Tzu Chi volunteers held winter aid distributions in Fujian, Quanzhou, and Shandong. At the event, Tzu Chi volunteers provided thoughtful services. In addition to delivering supplies to the residents who have mobility issues, volunteers also tried everything possible to protect supplies and prevent residents from getting wet when encountering rain. Let's take a look.
Encountering rain as the winter aid distribution in Quanzhou, volunteers do everything possible to protect supplies.
I feel fortunate since this is the test that Bodhisattva has given us.
To distribute winter supplies to residents from 30 different villages, Tzu Chi has mobilized more than 400 volunteers, hoping to allow everybody to enjoy a better new year. Among the volunteers, some Tzu Chi care recipients and elderly people have also joined to serve others.
I feel very happy and grateful. People who are able to help others are the most fortunate.
Since I'm already this old, it's great I am still able to do something for society.
Volunteers have accompanied Yang Bian, who is petite, helping her carry items. She feels thankful as she wants to say something.
At
Tzu Chi's yearly winter aid distribution in Shandong, in addition to local volunteers from Taiwan have also come to help. Upon receiving winter supplies, underprivileged residents all feel love and warmth.
I hope I can see the outside world. I can feel the difficult time of these patients and underprivileged people because I just took off the gloves to feel how cold it is. Actually, it's freezing cold. They have to live in this condition every day, so I sympathize with them.
As doctors, we should care for the patients and help them because we have the ability to do so.
Volunteers have visited more than 700 families to give out supplies.
Some elderly people have no one to rely on. Although some of them have children, they don't receive needed care. As the temperature is going to drop very low, we have brought quilts and winter clothing to them. What we have done this winter is very meaningful.
This senior cannot hold back her tears as she has received the needed love and care from the volunteers.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Shenyang, Liaoning, China held a winter aid distribution for families in need and community volunteers. The volunteers prepared the relief goods, set up the venue, cooked the dishes, and even personally pick up needy families who could not travel easily. Their services brought a lot of love and warmth to the care recipients.
They work together to remove the rice and other goods. The red color on these tables and chairs symbolize blessing and fills the place with joy. Tzu Chi volunteers personally pick up care recipients. The volunteers' enthusiasm and warm welcome is quite touching.
In society, there are still many people who need help. There's also many people like us who want to help other people. Luckily, there's a platform like Tzu Chi that can connect those who need help to those who want to help. So I'm very thankful for it.
Everyone gathers together like a big family for a delicious hot pot. Anho would stop breathing twice, but he is doing fine.
I can walk better than a while ago. I can also eat. I can eat anything. I really enjoy today's events a lot. So many people around.
We don't have work, so Tzu Chi has been giving us a lot of help. I really appreciate it a lot. I want to thank the staff for helping us. I really appreciate it.
Jiang Liyin suffers from cancer. She was once a reporter and she is touched by the warm atmosphere in the venue.
There's no grudge or guard between people. The communication through eye contact and language make me feel very warm.
Many people have been inspired to be compassionate and help those in need.
Illegal constructions are typically rented at a low price to young people or foreign laborers from other countries. However, in Taiwan, it has become common practice and is historically associated as a condition of the unequal supply and demand in the housing market. Comprehensive dismantling of these illegal structures will impact the economically disadvantaged who struggle to make ends meet. Experts warn that government housing should be expanded before any further action takes place.
50,000 young people took to the streets and stayed overnight on Zhongshan East Road in Taipei City to protest the high cost of rent. This event occurred in 1989 as a social action was billed the Snails Without Shells movement.
20 years ago, there was no place for us to live. We were called snails without shells. Snails because they have to carry a shell on their back, so it symbolized that everyone should have a house.
25 years later, the housing movement, which built upon the earlier Snails Without Shells movement, took place with organizational help from 19 non-governmental organizations. Once again, tens of thousands of people went to the streets to protest high housing prices.
Although Chinese communities still hope to have the dream of owning their own home, especially for young people, this dream has been put off in recent years. With the trend of high housing prices and low salary and high unemployment rate.
Compared with 1989, the housing prices in Taipei and New Taipei have risen threefold. The wages have regressed to 1997 levels. Nowadays, young people do not want to buy a house. Even renting housing has become difficult. Because of this, they have been put at the bottom of the economic ladder.
我叫杨玉伟，我是高雄人。
My name is Yang Yuwei. I'm from Kaohsiung and wanted to come to Taipei to work in the media profession, as my dream is to be either as a writer or a director.
我在4楼。
In order to realize these dreams and to save money, he sought out housing on the rooftop, which is cheaper by about $50, as monthly rent includes utilities, can be as cheap as $100. Winter can be cold and summer can be hot for those who live on rooftops, as there are 3 fans to ventilate the room. Even more troublesome is that the walls can leak, as he needs a wooden board to lift his bed higher.
Before, when it flooded the entire building, except for here, so I tried to block it and then I put my things in the bathtub to keep things dry. I would wash here and put things outside to dry.
This staircase has a fire escape sign written in Chinese, English, Vietnamese, Indonesian, and Thai. This is for foreign laborers because the greatest fear in this 2-story illegal construction is fire.
The first year when I lived here, a factory burned in the back, and the smoke came right through this window as I was scared to death. Later, I became very careful about electrical wires, as I make sure when I left that everything was unplugged.
Even if all illegal structures are demolished, these low-end foreign workers and those with limited financial capability must be protected. Many suggest the government should provide public housing and allow others from different municipalities to reside here.
Do I want to buy a house in the future? Yes, my goal is to save for a down payment, but now I could probably only buy something in Pingdong.
Some are optimistic that solving the housing problem associated with those at the bottom of the economic ladder will mean addressing the issue of illegal constructions, but we shouldn't be too quick to eliminate all of this vital housing.
At Tzu Chi's Humanitarian Culture Center's Year End Blessing Ceremony, the staff worked together with Taiwanese opera troupe, musicians, and dancers to present a sutra adaptation. We'll leave you with the images of the performance. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.